Hi guys, welcome to the lesson, and today we are going to learn about the preposition to. Yes, this is one of the most common prepositions in English, and I have seen that my students face a lot of problem with this preposition. So I decided to do this lesson for all of you so that you can get rid of all your confusion about where to use to and where not to use to. So watch this complete lesson. My name is Michelle and let's get started. So here we are guys, we have a couple of sentences with us on the board and we are going to find out which sentences are correct and which sentences are incorrect. And for all the incorrect sentences, we'll try to make them correct. So let's start with the first one. What do you think is wrong in this sentence? I'm going the party. I'm sure for those of you who have been speaking English for some time, you may have already made the correct guess. So the thing is, the main verb here is go. And with go, we mostly use to. So we will be saying, I'm going to the party, okay? What about if you're going to New York? You will also add to there. You will say going to New York. Okay? And how about work? Okay, if you went, as in if you went to work, which means you went there in the past. So there also we have added to. Went to work. So as you can see that we have used to with go, all right, with going and also with went. So this means with all the forms of go, we have used to. Now let's look at the next sentence and find out if there are some exceptions to this rule, okay? Read this one. I'm going to home. What do you think? Is this correct or incorrect? Well, if you are just a person who has started speaking English, to you this might seem right. You might think it's okay to say that, but that is the problem. Most of my students say, I am going to home, which is wrong because we do not use to with home. So what we are going to do is, we are going to cut to here. Now let's read it. I'm going home. This is a correct and a complete sentence. You do not need to here. Now, other than home, there are some more words with which you don't need to add to, okay? So, although we have go here, but we do not use to. The same way, if you take, for example, the word somewhere, okay? Can you make a sentence with go and somewhere? Okay, let's try this. I need to go to somewhere, or I need to go somewhere. You need to go somewhere. So the same way we have not used to with somewhere. Now think of another word. Think of inside. Please make a sentence with go and inside. I have to go inside. So just like home and somewhere, we have not used to with inside or outside. Now we have another word in English with which we do not use to, and that is there. So if you are saying that you need to go there, you will not say I will need to go to there. You will say I need to go there. So unlike the first one, I'm going to the party or I need to go to the party, you will say I need to go there and not I need to go to there. So other than these, we have another word with which we don't use to, and that is there. How about downstairs or upstairs? As in when you're taking the staircase or when you're going upwards, you always use the stairs. So do you say that I need to go to upstairs? No. You say I need to go upstairs or I need to go downstairs. Okay, so now I hope you have understood the first rule that we mostly use to with the verb go, like this one. But there are some exceptions to this rule. So with words like home and somewhere, inside, outside, there, or upstairs or downstairs, with all of these words, we do not use to, even though we use go. Okay, so I hope this rule has been clear to you. Now with this, we move to the next rule about using to. Let's read this sentence. We arrived to the airport. What do you think? Is there something wrong with it? Well, yes. What is wrong here is that we always use to with go, but we don't use to with arrive, okay? We never use to with arrive. Arrive means to reach somewhere, okay? Arrive means to reach somewhere. Now let's read this sentence like this. We arrived the airport. Oh, there's something still wrong with it, right? It looks kind of missing and incomplete. We arrived. We need a preposition in this sentence, okay? And for airport, because we are using the verb arrived, we will use at, okay? Now think about it like this. If you had go instead of arrive, how will you make the sentence? You will say, we went at the airport, or we need to go to the airport? Yes, it's okay to use to with airport when we have go, but it's wrong to use to with arrive. Okay, so here we will replace to with at. Okay, now let's look at the next sentence. When will you arrive to London? So like the previous sentence, we will not use to with arrive. So let's remove this. How will you complete this sentence? When will you arrive in London? Yes, that's the appropriate preposition here instead of to. Okay, great. So this is how we use this. Now let's look at the next one. You should to read more books. What do you think is wrong in this sentence? Do we need to here or do we not need to here? Think about it. Well, we don't need to in this sentence. You should read more books. So basically, should is a form of modal, okay? And with modals, we don't use to. For example, she will read more books, okay? You don't need to add to there as well because we already have a modal which is will or should, so that's why you don't need to add to. Now let's look at the next one. I must to take this medicine. So the same rule applies here, okay? You will say, I must take this medicine and not I must to take this medicine. But do you know we can change this sentence still? If you want to not change the meaning, if you want to keep the meaning same and add to, then what you will do is, you could say, I need to take this medicine. So you have added to, but you have changed the modal verb. So with must, you never say to, but with need, you can say to. Okay, now with this we look at the next one. She can to buy a car. Again, since you have understood the rule, you will know that we don't need to add to here because can is a modal verb which talks about ability. So you should say she can buy a car, which means that she has the ability to buy a car, okay? Means she may have that much money that she can buy a car. Now we can add to this sentence also, but for that we need to change the modal verb can. How will we do that? You could say she is able to buy a car. Yes. So here we have changed the modal verb from can to is able, and that's why we can add to. But otherwise, when you write can or when you write must or when you write should or when you write will, you should not use to because we don't use to with modal verbs. So I hope that rule was clear to you. Now with this, we look at the next rule about using to. The locked door stops people to enter. So what do you think? Is that a correct statement? Let's read it again. The locked door stops people to enter. Well, no, there is a mistake in this sentence. Let me help you. The locked door stops people. We will not use to with stop. We never use to with the word stop or prevent. So what do? This sentence is still incomplete. The locked door stops people enter. We are going to add another word to this sentence to make it correct. Okay? Now this is a correct sentence. The locked door stops people from entering. Yes. So the rule here is that we cannot use to with the word stop or prevent. Instead of that, we have an object, which is the locked door, and the word we are talking about, which is stops. Then we have from, and the main verb is in ing. So you say the locked door stops people from entering and not enter. Okay, so I hope you've understood this rule as well, and with this we move to the next one. The boss lets us to leave work early. So do we use to with the word let? No, we never use the word to with let. So if you say the boss lets us leave work early, this is a complete sentence and there is no mistake in this, okay? It's a complete sentence. But if you think of adding the word allow in this sentence, so let's replace let's with allow. The boss, the boss allows us leave work early. What do you think about this sentence now? The boss allows us leave work early. Do you think it's a complete sentence? No. Here we will add to. So allows and lets has the same meaning, just like must and need, okay? But the catch here is that with allows, we always use to. The boss allows us to leave work early, which means he lets you leave work early. And in the first sentence, we do not use to because we are using let. So do remember that with let, we never use to, but we can always use to with allows or able or need. Okay, now with this, we look at the last sentence for the day, which is, I like to hear to music. So, of course, if you're a beginner level speaker or if you've just started speaking English, then you might think this is okay. But the catch here is that we don't use to with hear, okay? So the correct sentence would be, I like to hear music, okay? Now, what do you think is another word for hear? Another word for hear is listen. So let's try to make this sentence with listen. I like to listen music. Okay, now is this correct? I like to listen music. Well, now we need to know that with listen, we always add to, okay? You will say, I like to listen to music. But when you use hear, you will say, I like to hear music without a to. So this is a little bit confusing and these are certain exceptions that you need to learn and memorize. Rewind the video if you've not completely memorized the rules and watch it again so that you can remember the rules properly. So do remember that with the modal verbs like must, should, can, you cannot use to. But if you want to replace them with need or is able, you can use to there. You never use to with arrive, okay? And the same way with go, sometimes you can use it, but there are exceptions when you cannot use it for words like home, somewhere, inside, outside. And towards the end, we learned that we cannot use to with let or here, but at the same time, we can use to with allow or listen. So this is the end of the lesson, guys, and I hope today you have understood when to use to and when not to use to. So I hope you will not make a mistake with this preposition anymore. I'll see you guys very soon in another lesson. Till then, you take care and have fun. Bye-bye.